because it should show the number. This is starting recording. Okay, it started now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do today, we will look into the concept called lean portfolio management and lean budgeting. Okay, so what I'll do first, I will take a notepad. First, I will explain some of the concepts. Then we will get into the scaled agile framework and all. Okay, so LPM. Okay, so today we are going to see lean portfolio management, and as an extension of that, one of the important concept is dynamic budgeting and all. Okay, now you tell me generally what thoughts come to your mind when you hear the word portfolio management and when you hear the word lean portfolio management. Generally speaking.
So portfolio have uh, multiple programs
Uh-huh.
under
Correct.
it, and um, those programs are linked to epics, sub-epics, features, and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just managing and delivering those programs. That's portfolio management in as higher level.
Okay.
The lean way, I feel like what we do uh, goes same weighted shortest job first, but we do that at the program level.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so I feel like that's the highest level that I have learned. Obviously, I wasn't exposed to it prior to
Okay.
our classes, but that's what I gathered after and doing some learning.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. So, generally, when you talk about portfolio, like it could be a collection of programs probably attributed to a particular strategic objective or a strategic initiative as a goal, and all these portfolios are are actually typically going to be the building blocks of your organization, which is an enterprise generally, right? So when I want to, okay, if I want to give a real time experience, probably one of the experience which I generally use is this particular HCL mode 1 2 3 strategy. Now,
Strategy.
now what it means is HCL as an organization had already thought through how are they going to position themselves in the emerging market segment, right? This is an internet page only, anyone can view it. So they say that we have a strategy called mode 1 2 3. So what is that all about? It means at a digital enterprise transformation level, in terms of the work what we do on a high level, it can be categorized into three things: existing core services, accelerating new services, something called the building products and the platforms, right? So any project or any kind of a work will be somewhere, it could be a child of any of these three compartments, correct? Because if I'm taking one particular account, it may come under a portfolio, and every portfolio has a quarterly priority to be met, which we call it as portfolio KPIs also. Now, what am I trying to say is why we are discussing this strategy is, if you now go to Scaled Agile framework, you see an icon called the strategic themes. And theoretically, if you read by the definition, they will tell strategy is something which is connecting the enterprise with the portfolio. Correct? My portfolio vision. Now, what is this strategic themes? On a high level, this could be one of the example. Okay, this particular strategy is more aligned towards business agility also, because factoring the market rhythm, I am actually talking about this particular strategy. So you might have seen in some YouTube videos. See, now it is high time that you start watching a YouTube videos wherein CEOs, CFOs of reputed company will be called for a discussion on the quarterly budgets. Correct?
Correct.
So what I'm trying to say is, understanding scaled agile framework, understanding these things is okay. Tagging it back to the business numbers so that we all speak the same language. So when they say top level, bottom line, CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, all these things you need to know at least on one or two lines. So somewhere in those conversations, we will be keep hearing my mode 2 has given an improvement of 54 percentage quarter on quarter. So what do they mean by mode 2? They are saying the investment what I made in digital and analytics, the investment what I made in cloud native services, these particular funded, these particular initiatives which I thought through, funded and picked it up, has started giving me return on the investment. That is what they are trying to tell. Okay. Now, fine. Now let us go slowly into the concepts. Now, what are we trying to do is we are now trying to do something called a dynamic budgeting. So in the dynamic budgeting, I want to do a rolling wave kind of a funding release, right? That is the meaning of a dynamic budgeting. Means rolling wave. Based on the emerging priorities, based on the evolving market dynamics, I may need to either continue funding on the same initiative, or I can stop that particular initiative and refund the remaining money in some other initiative, which we have seen in Agile metrics topic. Do you remember? There was a metric called capital redeployment.
Yes.
That is the meaning of whatever it's remaining, you can still take it and then refund it for some other purpose. Now, Scaled Agile Framework being a scalable model says that let us do this dynamic budgeting using a technique called participatory budgeting. So, dynamic budgeting is a concept which is generic across any framework for that matter. Whereas if you go to Scaled Agile Framework, these guys would have written something called a PB here, right? I will explain you practically. Stories under you can read it later. Because I have done participatory budgeting, I will tell how I have done it. Theoretical part you can read it later because that is a simple English. Anyone can read it. If any queries, you can come back to me. Now see, participatory budgeting is something which will happen if and only if I have clarity on my product roadmap and I have positioned my epics or sub epics like this. You remember, right? Generally we used to take a flow orchestration sheet. One sheet I used to show, no? 1 second,
Yeah.
let it see, like this, at least for 4 to 6 months, I need to have visibility on the epics and the sub epics. See, here what happens, funded initiative entered the roadmap. What you see in this sheet is not before the filter. You are seeing this one here. Whatever epic, enabler epic, I put it in this diagram. That is what you are seeing here in this sheet. Because this epic is already funded. See, okay, practically how this particular epic will be there in the rally, something like this in number, infrastructure, okay, for example, cloud initiatives for 2021. Okay, this is how an epic will be there. This is a template. So I'm not putting the exact names because if I put cloud initiative, some other guy will put some other thing as a infrastructure revamp. Some other guy will tell cloud-based architecture deployment. One more person will tell microservices-based approach. So these are all high-level initiatives. Now, only funded initiative can become part of my road mapping. So this sheet is what you see here is after taking a decision of a funding. Now we are trying to understand how the funding is going to happen. You got the concept, no? We are going to talk. I understand funded initiatives are going to come into my piece of work and I will decompose into sub-epic features and keep going. But on what basis I will take a decision, okay? Now, let us go one by one. What does participatory budgeting says? I actually covered this in one of the class on a very lighter note or a high note. I told that instead of funding few epics with more, you can put it as money itself because it is easy to understand. Instead of funding few epics with more money, better fund more epics. I'm specifically putting not all, okay. Fund more epics with a lesser fund, and then evaluate the MVP model, and then evaluate the MVP model of the epic to take a decision whether to continue funding or not. Simple, right? Simple concept, nothing big, very easy. So I have 5 epics, I have 6 epics. So okay, the same concept which we have dealt it. So let's say you have some of money. Now you have decided to put the money in this stock or share. So if you go to your financial consultant, a financial consultant will be saying, sir, this particular stock is picking up in the market, so it is better that you put all the money. This particular stock, don't put money, it will be fluctuating. There you have a financial consultant to tell you where to pump in your fund. But unfortunately, in these situations, we don't know exactly how the future is going to be. I cannot build a model for everything. And even if I build a model, it has a limitation. So what participatory budgeting says is, if you are having 15 epics, prioritize the epic based on the envisaged business value. Now, out of these 15 epics, let me take top 7 or 8. Okay, I will be explaining going forward how to take the 7 or 8. You have a concept called lean budget guardrail. Okay, but once you decided this is 7 or 8, don't put more money in all the, so you take more epics, slightly funded, and then see over a period of 2 to 3 months whether these the work what we do really make relevance with the changing market condition. See, market condition is a moving target. It is a fish which is keep on going inside the water. I cannot, it is very difficult for me to hit a moving target. If the target is very static, I can hit it. If the target itself is moving, I also need to move rhythmically. You are getting it, right? Simple.
I am.
Very simple concept, okay? Problem is, when you read it first time without the context, it looks very complex. So I'm giving you the context so that when you read it, it becomes easy for you relatively. Okay, I will not say it will be that easy, but you need to do it once or twice. Okay, now my suggestion is, okay, this is called a participatory